Okay. So this is going to be the same as my other video, I think. It's Tuesday, it's raid night, although the last video I took was 2-something hours. It was a bit long. And I got babbly near the end especially. So this one, I'll record New York raid. I'll see how that goes. But recording 2 hours of stuff again is probably a bit ridiculous. It took me almost 20 hours to upload the video to YouTube. Which is probably part of the reason why I can't actually stream, because my internet connection can't handle that sort of crap. Anyway, so this is, I changed my outfit from last time. This is the highest ranked Illuminati uniform without the gas mask, because they're freaking annoying. So, looks like we're getting the band back together in the early process. I'm actually going to run to the official mission pickup location for this and do the opening cutscene, since I was yammering last time and didn't actually do that even though I was planning on it. So this time I will do it and then shut up, although I do want to get into my build for this in advance because I might forget and that would be bad. Shit. Mez Dabs. Boom. Alright, let's go watch a video. Which is it's around the corner here. This is New York City, and actually, fun fact, you can actually literally go to this location in New York City, and it looks pretty similar to this. The warehouse door over here is closed, you can't get in. But like, I have walked through this park. It's a dog park. It doesn't quite look like this, but the Manhattan Bridge, which is right there, that's not the Brooklyn Bridge, that's the Manhattan Bridge, is there. This is the correct angle. This subway stop over here doesn't exist. It's several blocks away. I forgot where I was going. Oh, into the laundromat. This isn't a laundromat in actual New York City, but like, if you look at the map, it's actually, north is down here, which is why if you look at the map, it's like, this doesn't look like New York, because north is to the bottom here. So if you flip the map around, it actually matches up. So that is actually a pretty cool thing. I took the pilgrimage to Illuminati headquarters last year and visited New York City. So, alright, here is Crossroads of the World Revisited, because I've done this before.
So Penny says to me, she says, David, there's a freaking monster in Times Square. And that's right. She says it all ironically, too. Because she says everything ironically. Because everything's a joke. See? That's how I know it's true. That and the police scanner. Look, of course they're gonna put a lid on this thing ASAP. I mean, they're already doing it. Earthquake, Al-Qaeda, whatever's on the menu today, you know. They're cover-up du jour. Never mind that there are tanks rolling on Broadway, F-16s doing barrel rolls over Midtown. Forget the fact that they're blowing 42nd Street to pieces. It'll all end up in the news as ruptured gas pipes or homegrown terrorism, and that's that. But you want to know what's ironic? The real kicker? They're feeding me real information. They want me to be the voice of this thing. So tomorrow morning, they can take all the grainy photos and the rumors and point to me and my rag and say, oh, look, the conspiracy nuts are reporting this, so it must be true, right? They don't even have to lie. They're gonna give me everything I need and silence everybody else. Because they know, boy do they know, that anyone on the fence, anyone who thought maybe they saw something, don't want to be associated with the conspiracy nut in the laundromat. They just want to do laundry. I mean, if you're in here listening to me, if you're reading my magazine, I figure you already know. So the only real question is, how much do you know? And What are you gonna do about it?
Alright, that excuse me, that is the intro cinematic, which actually doesn't really tell you much about what you're about to face, which is kind of the point. So now my mission is updated to examine Dave Screed's magazine, which is literally right in front of us. So we're going to examine that. So, a word from the editor, the Illuminati tunnels. I don't do urbex for the college kids because I think it's fun. I do it for the technomagic experiments. You really think that's a party you're hearing? You think it's the neighbor's base? Forget urban exploration. This is infiltration. This is an information war. I don't have it all mapped out yet, but this much I can confirm. There are ways to bust it downtown from Brooklyn that you wouldn't believe. You think the Illuminati get caught in traffic? Don't believe me? Find the fenced-in warehouse. Check the parking lot under the bridge. The magic door is marked for those who can read the signs. So my mission is updated to find the secret way into Midtown Manhattan, which is the entrance to the raid. So we run over here, and if you can kind of tell, there's a little green X on the map right here, which is where I'm going. No, wait, that's actually a different mission, I think. Yeah, that's an old mission that I have. That's not. So it's actually kind of... Alright, see the little purple thingy around the instance entrance over here? That's this mission. So that's like, here's where you go to discover this thing. Boom. Entrance to the Illuminati tunnels. And I'm going to wait. Because out of the 10 of us that are going to be doing this, there's currently only 7 people in the group. Which means it's dance time. And today I am drinking Victory at Sea by Ballast Brewery. This is a really good beer. It's a porter. Their description says it has coffee and vanilla in there. Barely noticeable, if any, but overall it's still a pretty good taste. I picked up as I've actually been to Ballast Point. They have a new location. Ballast Point is out of San Diego, but they have a new location in Long Beach, and I have been to both of the locations. Coincidentally, was at the Long Beach location the day they opened or the day after they opened. Had no idea they were putting something in there, and I think we were heading down to that area to, I don't know, look for dinner or something like that, and saw like a crowd. We're like, let's see what's going on over there, and lo, it was Ballast Point, and they were just opening. Waited in line for about 20 minutes because it was that popular. Waited in line to get inside because they were at capacity, and this place is pretty fucking big. Went in and tasted a lot. Normally going to breweries and doing tastings, it's like, alright, here are these 8 to 10 things and you've tasted everything we have to offer. They had like 30 things available, if not more. So, anyway, I picked up a 6-pack of this in my local Total Wine & More. It was $12 or $13, $14, something like that, which is typically more than I want to pay for 6 packs of beer, but I've had it before and I know it's good. So, every now and then I will splurge. So, Ballast Point Victory at Sea, I highly recommend. And our fearless leader is at the entrance, looking like we're getting ready to go in. And I moved. But we're entering. Alright. So yes, the mission is like, find the secret way to Manhattan. Technically, the first time you do this mission, you really don't know what to expect, aside from the fact that it is a raid mission, so you know whatever you're going to deal with, you want to have 9 friends along with you. Because the raid instances in this game allow 10 max for raids. So here you are, going through the tunnels, and it's kind of hard to hear, but there's like radios in the background warning the people not to go down where you're going.
In the sky. Multiple somethings. Now, we can't confirm this, but there are reports from several... 2 regions reiterate, people are being told to stay far away from Midtown and to evacuate the area immediately. It still isn't clear what exactly is the source of this earthquake, this rumbling noise, but it seems to be coming from directly beneath me here.
So that's the radio you're listening to. QBL Media representative, as if you can read the text over here, it's also doing the NPC chatter, is warning people not to come down there because he doesn't know what the source of the earthquakes are, but it seems to be right near where they are. So we're just running through the subway. Dude up here is like, hey, don't go down there, and does nothing to stop you because it's magic. It's a game. So we're running through some broken down subway cars. This one's, I think, facing the wrong direction. Whoop. Did I go out too far? No. Okay. Sometimes if you come out there and you go too far out that way, it basically triggers the zombies to start attacking you. And you can see out beyond the... I can't get up there. It just doesn't let you. But you see tanks and army and stuff. They sure did get here quick, considering everything was literally fine until I walked into that graded entrance in the parking lot. But if you've seen the other video, you've seen all of the action that goes on here. A little bit of lore background. QBL Media is one of the branches of the Orochi Group. They, I mean, as the name describes, they're basically a media company. So they're probably, I don't want to say they're equivalent to like Fox News, but they're that high of a level of well-knownness in the lore of the secret world. So if QBL says it, it gets broadcast to like the world. Anansi Technologies is also one of the subdivisions, companies under the Orochi Group. There are 8, hence Orochi. And it looks like we're starting. The problem with a heal tank, or I don't want to say heal tank, the problem with a healer just going out there and pulling aggro and bluing up everybody is it doesn't work that well. As I took some damage and nearly died, considering in my damage outfit setup here, I don't have much in the way of hit points. So it only takes a couple of hits to kill you. And I took a couple of hits. Works much better when a tank runs in there and hits things and keeps them occupied. Especially the first section, because it's one thing if you are using heal aggro to keep the critters on you when they're all clustered together initially, but that first thing, they're spread out pretty much all over that main area, so it's hard to wrong ability, it's hard to keep their attention on you that way. One of the drawbacks, as you just may have noticed, with rocket jump in the way that the physics in-game work, and it's not technically rocket jump, but that's the easy way to remember it, is that if terrain interrupts, like if a terrain change interrupts the path, it'll stop you short. So like that last rocket jump of mine was more like a little rocket hop, because I didn't hardly go anywhere because there was a dip in the road. And the engine can't really handle the difference. That's about how far. That's how far it should go. Every now and then, one or both but I don't think I've seen both, but at least one, sometimes, on rare occasions, will drop a Night Watch Glyph Toolkit, which you use to, oh, gee, and now we're in the middle of the QBL Media offices. Which is where they were broadcasting from when the guy with the broadcaster was like, it sounds like it's coming from right below us. Well, that's the guy that was actually broadcasting on the radio. The QBL Media representative. And the cameraman runs over to record it. The odd thing is, QBL and Orochi are very into the cover-up, our fuck-up thing. So, even though QBL people are here recording this, that's not going to actually get broadcast anywhere. So, I don't know where the tanks are, but they are not here. That's an interesting outfit. So I don't think I really talked about it in my other video, but going over this fight is basically 3 phases. The first phase, you run in and you just beat this guy up with like your normal stuff. He will do, he'll throw fists, punch the ground, whatever. It's a basically a column AoE attack, so you just basically avoid it, and that's especially when you first start doing this raid regularly. That's easier said than done. Despite how long it seems to take for that punch to happen, you'll still get caught in it half the time somehow, magically. So that's one attack he does. He will randomly, especially when you're first running in there, he will randomly select one person in the raid and target them with an AoE. It's an expanding circle. Once the circle goes all the way out, it will basically drop a filth puddle centered on where the location was. So basically, if during the course of the fight, and he'll do it other times throughout the fight too, so if you are ever the target of that circle, you run to the side, you get out of the way so that you drop your puddle where it doesn't affect the rest of the raid as much as possible. Let's see, the punch, the AoE, and then it just does like normal attacks on whoever whatever tank has aggro at the time. I mentioned before it has some sort of a stacking debuff that it puts on the tanks, and when it gets to a certain level, it's bad. That's basically phase 1. And then he will cast this super AoE that actually doesn't do a lot of damage, but it will knock you down and fling you a bit. But it gives you a debuff where I think it reduces the healing you receive, and it may increase the damage you take, and it may reduce the damage you do. I'm not exactly sure. It's something that you want to avoid, but if you get hit by it, you're not going to die, probably. So he will start casting that attack, and basically you avoid it by hiding behind something. Usually I will head toward this pile of rocks right here to avoid it, because after he casts that, zombies will run out from everywhere, lots of places. A big group come out from here. Some come from like over there somewhere. I don't want to get too close to start the fight, because that would kill us all, and that would be embarrassing. So yeah, you just fight all those little zombie dudes, which isn't really hard, but there are a lot of them in multiple places. And then you fight a total of 4 of those filth bird things. First 2, like one pops in and you start fighting it, and then a second one pops in. So like one tank will keep going after the first one tank will go after the second one. We kill the first one, and then we go to kill the second one, and after the second one, actually no, I don't want to say when the second one dies. It's timed. So in the amount of time it would take you to kill the second one, then the boss will do another one of those big AoE attacks, which doesn't do a lot of damage, but it knocks you back and it can kind of screw up things. And during that time, I will usually run back here and hide from the AoE from right here, because at this next part, zombies come out from over here, and they come out from over here, so you basically want to clear those out as fast as possible. They don't do a super amount of damage individually. Altogether, they can gang up and hurt you, but they're a nuisance. So you want to take those out quickly, and then a third bird will fly into like either here or up here or over here, and then you kill that bird, and then it does another super AoE. So again, I will run back to here to fight the zombies that come in. I say zombies, they're not technically zombies, they're basically filth-infected people. So they're under control of the filth, and killing them is merciful. So then after that happens, and then a fourth bird will fly in, and then we fight that, and then at that point, I'll usually run up to hide behind this cop car, because after he does the super AoE, after the fourth bird dies, then it'll be running in and fighting the boss time again, because Phase 2 is then over, and Phase 3 will begin. During Phase 3, some of NPCs will pop out to assist. Like, one will be right up around here and will give an aura. One will be around here and give an aura. And one will be around here and give an aura. And I talked about this in the other video, but the closest one used to buff melee skills. Well, melee weapons, I should say. So it would buff sword, hammer, and claw abilities a lot. The mid-range one would do the mid-range weapons, which is pistols, shotgun, and I'm not sure if blood would fit into that one or not. I don't remember if blood was considered a mid-range one or a long-range one. It's kind of long-range, but it's not quite as long-range as elementalism, I believe. And then the third one was the long-range one, so it would buff assault rifles and elementalism, maybe blood magic, I don't know. So, regardless, based on your weapons equipped, you would go to one of those three circles so that you would get extra damage on your attacks, because that's basically the burn phase. They have changed it, so now each circle buffs everything, but it will only buff 4 people, maximum. So, 10 people in the group, that means you can get, 3 per circle, 3 to 4 per circle, and be fine. Any more than that, and people are going to be doing piddly damage because they're not going to be getting buffed, or you're going to take the buff away from somebody that isn't expecting it. Whatever. Anyway, so during this phase, you basically hang out in those circles and do extra damage, and it will still do the fist attacks, and it'll do the targeted AoE thing, and it'll also do a pod thing, where basically a blob will appear back here somewhere randomly, and it will go after whoever is furthest back, like whoever is closest to it. So typically you will have a potter in the raid, whose job is basically to fight the boss with long-range weapons. So they will stand kind of behind everybody, so that when the pod thing comes out, it'll go toward them and they can deal with it. On paper, it's pretty easy to avoid that, because it will go to you and then it will do a sort of grab thing that you can basically dodge out of. Or, I don't know the specifics because I've only done it once and I didn't do it well. Or basically when it gets close to you, it will trigger it to do its thing, and at that point you dodge away. So, because if you get caught by it, you will get thrown into a pod and you will take damage over time, and everybody else needs to break you out of it, because if they don't break you out of it, you're probably going to die there. And the reason that a specific person is set to handle that is so that it doesn't grab one of the DPS people from behind when they don't realize it, or God forbid, oh, I've been made a leader. Okay. One of the guys, where is summon? There we go. One of the guys crashed, so I got made the leader of my group so I could summon him back. Alright, so what was I talking about? The pod, yeah. So that's kind of a minor thing. It's like I've done podding before, and I was bad at it, and I got caught every time, but I always got busted out by my teammates, and I didn't die. And ultimately, even if you get caught in it, so long as somebody that's expecting to potentially get caught in it gets caught in it, it's better than somebody that's not at all expecting to get caught in it. So it's sort of like taking one for the team, and hopefully you'll survive. At some points, Zombies will run out, or filth-infected humans will run out from the back and basically charge the group. Usually the people in the back section will have AoE and long-range stuff, so they'll take them out before they get to anybody. But considering all the people that are shooting, even some people have AoE attacks, they don't last very long. Let me put it that way, especially if they get up in the front here. The one problem with them is if they die, they drop like little filth puddles behind them, I think. So that could be problematic depending on where they actually die at. They're talking about people adding extra damage in here. Whenever your attacks both critically hit and penetrate, the target becomes afflicted with the damage or target effect. Target takes Bruzel Kizia Mason's Ring. I don't know what that is or where it comes from. It's probably a raid drop from the Nightmare level. Alright, anyway. One of the guys is talking about he at least for a while raided with a group that did the Nightmare raids. Anyway, so he was telling us about some item and what it did, which I don't know, doesn't really apply to us because I don't know if we'll ever even attempt the Nightmare raids because it requires having your Aegis equipment leveled up, and that requires doing the Manufactory dungeons, which I don't think anybody actually enjoys doing. I mean, it's one thing to do the dungeons, but the way the system works, like, you literally have to do the first Manufactory dungeon on Nightmare probably 40 times on average, if not more, to level your Aegis gear up to the point that you can then do the same thing in the second Manufactory dungeon. So that is a super fucking grind, because out of the 6 boss encounters in the dungeon, 6, 7, whatever, boss encounters, they have a chance to drop a toolkit. So that is a tool, like, so maybe over the course of the 6 bosses, you may get a total of 4 toolkits. So that's 5 people that get 4 toolkits, and you have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of Aegis gear to upgrade. And you need to upgrade it 10 times. So you need 90 toolkits total yourself to go from, like, I'm at QL 2.0, so I would need 90 toolkits to get all of my Aegis gear up to 3.0. And then I could do the second Manufactory dungeon the same way so that I could get all the required toolkits to go up to 4.0. So that's just stupid, and I do not want to do that. And I think most of the people in this group feel the same way. Alright, I think we're getting ready, so I'm going to get into position while I keep talking. Alright, so during Phase 3, potting, the same stuff, AoE buffs, filth people. That's basically it. At some point he'll cast an ability that I forget the name of, but it will kill you unless you hide from it. So when if it's able to cast that spell, it's like Last Resort or something like that. We basically hide behind the rocks, behind the car, something like that. So you're out of direct line of sight, because then it won't affect you. And then you run back in and attack again. When he does that attack, he will also knock down the NPCs, and their buffs will go away. So then you're just fighting with normal attacks. That's normal attack damages. This group, we often will either not get to that part because we'll have killed him before that, or he'll be in the process of casting it when we finish him off. So it's actually been quite a while since I've seen, like, that phase happen, that sub phase, whatever happened. Oh, I think somebody needed to summon and I wasn't paying attention. Oh wait, not my group, not my fault. Haha. I noticed the vanilla in the Victory at Sea. a little bit. I don't really notice the coffee. I do tend to enjoy the coffee beers. Smog City. And if you haven't guessed, as I'm talking about beers and Southern California ones, I am based in Southern California. Smog City, which is a local brewery here, has a coffee porter that I really like, but it's so intense I can literally drink like one, and I just can't have any more. Stone actually has a milk coffee stout, and I think that is literally the only Stone beer that I actually like, because they pretty much just do hops. Like, they just throw hops into a bottle and call it a beer, for the most part. And I am not a hop head. I'm a bad Southern Californian because I like to actually taste beers instead of just bitter crap. That said, I have had a few, very select few pale ales or IPAs that are not horrible. That does not mean I'm going to go out and purchase any for myself, though, because they're generally bad. And so are the people that drink them. That's right, you're bad. And you should feel bad. Yeah, so the other Stone beer is, like, literally, I think, the only Stone beer that I've had that I actually liked. Alright, we're getting ready to go. Ready check. Which is basically typing R into chat, because we don't have any sort of ready check system in the game. I remember when they added that to World of Warcraft. Because I'm 99% sure Vanilla did not have the ready check system in there, and it was something that was added in either during Vanilla or maybe in the Burning Crusade. I don't actually remember. Yeah, I'm an old WoWer. I played up into the Ice Crown expansion. I got like halfway through that. Like, it was a few months away from Cataclysm coming out, and I was like, you know what, I have been doing this for too long, and there's too much of the same shit over and over and over again, and I'm done. And I quit. I played a few days here and there since then, but I don't even want to play anymore, really. So I definitely broke that habit, but I picked up some other ones. Yeah, the leader was like, going in 5, and then I saw somebody move. It was the wrong person, though. So that is warning about the oncoming fist attack. We pretty much all kind of huddle to the side, because that fist attack will target a player, I believe, but it's technically on the ground. So if everybody huddles together, there's an 8/10 chance that it's going to happen on you, so you can, you know to avoid it, sort of thing, as opposed to everybody being scattered out and it just being a chaotic mess. As you see, these guys actually die pretty easily, but they do a decent amount of damage, and if they do damage to, like, a DPS player, they're not going to have the hit points to be able to survive that very long. I attacked that thing a little bit too soon. The tank hadn't even touched it yet. That's something that can often kill you in games. Because typically, things will attack, like the bad things will attack the first thing that attacks them. So if you attack before the tank attacks, you probably gonna die. There he goes. That thing went down quick. Yeah, you can have a flamethrower Ox weapon, which would probably be better to fight the filth hordes with. But the mobility of the rocket launcher is really hard to beat, especially when you can pick up other AoE abilities. As you see, somebody behind me was using the flamethrower. I like to get where I want to go faster. Alright, bird, here he is. And you can kind of see, like I said, it being timed, and I have like a raid, not a raid, like an effects UI, the add-on is called, is what gives the warnings up in this part of the screen when specific things happen. That's an add-on that does that. But you can also kind of see, like, when he's getting ready to do his thing, the screen gets kind of, like, grayish or whatever. You don't want to stand in the filth. It'll hurt. Buff circle. I'll hit my buffs. Boop. You can see it was pure filth. That was the spell that targets somebody and puts an AoE around them, and you could kind of see somebody behind me had the AoE on them. Final Resort is the thing that is the big AoE that will literally kill you if you get hit by it. And he was just starting to cast that when we killed him. Boom. And I will let the cutscene play, and I will shut up and drink some more beer.
So, do you think anyone noticed?
I'd say there's a pretty good chance.
If anyone asks, leaky gas pipes.
You've got to be kidding.
When have you ever known me to make a joke? Look, I don't make policy, but the way I see it, news of this gets out and it's all over. No more secret handshakes.
Is that all you care about? Plausible denial?
I don't need to be all that plausible. As long as people are given an excuse to ignore this, that's what they want. That's what we want. No doubt it's in the dragon's interest.
The dragon wants answers.
No, you don't. You want to consolidate power like everyone else. You just use bigger words. Our backyard, our rules. No one is to talk about this. It needs to be swept under the rug.
We're going to need a really, really big run.
Well, bloody convenient, all of you being here just as...
Don't do that, Alex.
There's no power without control. And there's no control without mass hysteria.
Power is an idea. It shifts. It has to. Haven't you ever confronted an abstract idea? I mean, really confronted it.
What, you mean like credit cards?
Where does a thing like that even come from?
Now that's a silly question. Where does any dark, slimy, tentacled demigod come from?
Manchester?
That'd be my guess as well.
Yeah, so the NPCs that join you in here, Alex, Mei Ling, I forget the blonde girl's name. Alex basically is the Illuminati NPC that you will encounter. Mei Ling is the dragon NPC that you will encounter. The blonde chick, I forget her name, but she is the Templar NPC that you will encounter. You encounter them very rarely. Basically only in like that raid. One of the guys, Zuberi, I don't remember if he's in the previous one or not. I think he actually is. He is actually, if I remember correctly, he actually is kind of behind everybody and floats up in the air doing, I don't know, something. I think he is technically the one that creates the anima well at the end that everybody leaves through. But Zuberi shows up in this one. He's the guy that's like, you know, we must be careful. We need to hurry. Which is basically a cue for the people to go upstairs to fight the spider boss up top here. When you get to... Well, actually, when you go through the intro mission, like the sort of... Here's your... You know, you created a new character. Now we're going to throw you into the world mission. Which is optionally skippable. You have to, when you go into it in the subway, you basically turn around and leave, and that's the way you skip it. That's not obvious, though. Anyway, during that mission, you will encounter those NPCs again. So you basically, you see them at the beginning of the game when you first start out. You see them again at the quote-unquote end of the game, which is that raid. You will also see them again in Kaiden, the Tokyo area. Mostly during the first mission, one of the first few missions you do, I believe. You actually don't see them a lot, but they're basically kind of what you are, except they've been doing it longer. That's my understanding. It's like, as you play through the game, it treats you as a new recruit. Gaia has gone into overdrive and is making bees all over the place, so they were probably the first wave that were created, and you are the part of the mass second wave. The only reason I say that is because, going by lore, the bees, like what the superpowered people that you play as, have not really been around up until recent events, which caused Gaia to kick in her antibodies, which is basically you. I need to change my build while I'm thinking of it, because I need to go to Flappy Dabs. Alright, my Flappy Dabs is on. Oh, I didn't even use any of my buffs last time. Yeah, so like I said, the way the story of the game goes is you're basically a new recruit, a new superpowered recruit, because Gaia is going around just creating new antibodies, namely superpowered people, to fight off the evil, the filth. And you're one of them, and everybody else around you is one of them. Those specific NPCs, however, seem to know a lot more about what's going on, so that makes me think that they've been doing this for a while. So whereas there have been bees for who knows how many thousands, hundreds of years, those specific ones may have been hanging out for a while, whereas 95% of the ones active in the storyline of the game are all new. They're fresh off the boat. So as far as them being like non-player characters and interacting, they never really interact with you. They interact with each other, and you're kind of around when they do that sometimes. I can't think offhand of any times that they actually interact with you though. So they're kind of dicks, I guess. And I think they also, with them, they try to both show the stereotype of the three secret societies, and they also try to break the stereotype of the three secret societies. Figure the stereotype, Illuminati, New York, so they're total new world, all about the modern, the power, the drugs, sex, drugs, and Rockefeller. That's the motto of the Illuminati. Whereas the Templar are kind of the old world, so they're European, very, very kind of, I don't know, it's not strict, but, uptight, blah, blah, blah. Whereas the Dragon are the Asian ones. But technically, you don't have to be from any of those locations to be any of the factions. And even with the intro movies for the various factions, they pretty much find you regardless of where you are, and we're like, all right, you're coming with us. Some in more literal terms than others, depending on which faction you choose to start as. But like Mei Ling, for example, that's clearly not that's clearly an Asian themed name, and she kind of fits the stereotypical dragon part. And then Alex is English and likes his fancy clothes and is Illuminati. Although I also think Mei Ling is also English, but of Asian heritage. Because she does, and I don't know if that's because the character is literally supposed to be English or if the voice actress they got to play her, it was English. So I guess it's a question of whether that was an intentional decision to make her, to give her an English accent, or to that's just the way it happened to be. And then Sarah, no, not Sarah. Sarah is the one you find someplace. Whatever the third one's name that I can never remember, the blonde. She's Templar, but she is like American. I say she has no accent, but that's because her accent will be my accent depending on where you're hearing from. Hit the wrong abilities. The spiders, you always want to kill them. Actually, before Flappy. I hope whoever got webbed got out. I tried to shoot the web, but I wasn't fast enough. But then I saw whoever, I think it was the this one here, looked like they got out of it. Out. And apparently I didn't do my buffs correctly. That's what I get for talking and playing at the same time. Yes, the spiders are annoying to deal with. So typically you take them as soon as you can. Even at the expense of not fighting Flappy. Looking right at me. So spiders, if you're a DPS like I am, the spiders can literally kill you within a couple of seconds, even if you're getting like heals, just because they can easily hit you for more damage than you have health. Get out of the way, jerk! Yeah, you don't want to get in these spots because they will do damage and they will knock you back. And I don't know if it's random or if it's some clever fucking evilness that the developers did, because if you get knocked back by one of those AoEs, it's probably going to knock you into another one. So you're going to get chain knocked the fuck around. Crap. I hit the wrong button. So I just changed Aegis in the middle of the fight instead of rocket jumping. Thankfully, it didn't kill me, and it didn't knock me off, because if I got knocked off of the platform, then I would be potentially up top and taking damage, and just generally not being in a good place.
Be careful!
Yeah, Zuberi, we're being careful. Helping to take out some of the ads. Because our AoE healer tends to draw the aggro from all of the ads. Alright, Markle, don't move. What? Oh. I was going to use my ultimate ability, except I don't actually have it. I'm used to having it.
Well done!
Where you at, Scrub? Fight me! Boom, boom. Uh-oh. I went down too soon. Alright. Actually didn't hurt. Somehow I dodged it. Stop phasing him toward us! Boom! Got him anyway. Alright. The problem with it being faced toward us is because... Oh! Clothing drop. This is actually pretty rare. I am going to see if that is one that I actually have. Carapace of the Immaculate Machine. That is chest. I have the regular one. I do not have the white one. So with this group, if you want it, you roll need, regardless of what it is. So I am rolling need on that, because it is a costume item that I do not have. Greed, 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 greed. Loop. And turn in my mission. So what this is the mission turn in for this, which I don't even know if there's a... I mean, there's technically a mission that you pick up for this, but it's basically like, hey, go inside. Oh, and I got the clothing. So, cool for me. I guess it went directly to my dressing room. So, let's go back to chest, care rep, and now I have chest guard white added in there. So there are 5 pieces. Let's say there's the helmet, the chest, the legs, the boots, and the hands. So there's 5 pieces of the white carapace of the Immaculate Machine outfit. I think I have 3 now. Let's see, what I currently am wearing is a uniform, so that overrides any specific costume items. So let me go to my regular outfit. And this is Fashionista add-on, so it keeps all of your costumes in check. Alright, care up. So there's white, and let's see, neck, chest, there's white, and hands, white, and I don't have the legs, and I don't have the boots. I mean, ultimately it's kind of silly looking. I don't think it's quite as silly as the yellow ones, but, you know, whatever. So yes, the report you go to submitted. Zern being kind of like the mad doctor of the Illuminati. Zern is tabulating the data on whether or not this winged monster is a sibling to what we faced in Agartha before. And this is, if you remember, if you saw and remember the previous video, I mentioned how before this was a raid, this was an event. So that's what the reference to that is, and I have to click yes here, or else I'll get stuck and have to run, or have them summon me. So that mission turn-in is referencing the old event. So let's go back to it. Zern is tabulating the data on whether or not this winged monster is a sibling to what we've faced in Agartha before, or if the Hollow Earth's timey-wimey weirdness means you're all just facing the same creature in the endless loop. Supposedly, and this is something that they haven't used in the game, but has been mentioned by NPCs, is that the lower branches of Agartha can go to different times. We have not actually utilized it in that fashion in the game as it currently stands, but technically it's possible. So, hence the reference to the Hollow Earth's timey-wimey weirdness. Zern says results are inconclusive, but he's always useless to me in the morning until he had his first lick of one of his South American toads. Wait, I just got a jolt of major deja vu. I feel like you've turned in that exact report, and that I've typed this exact response. What the hell? I need to talk to Zerm. I don't know if that's considered breaking the fourth wall or not, but I think I mentioned it before, but one of the best, like literally the best things about this game is the writing. Like, the mechanics, I mean, it's an MMO. It does have what I consider an advantage of you only have these abilities. Because as an old WoW player, I had fucking toolbars all over the place with fucking abilities everywhere. So all 47 different abilities, I take that back, all 147 different abilities had different uses at different times, and you could use them all. And it was just fucking overwhelming just having fucking, your screen was filled with toolbars, and that was it. And that's not playing a fucking game. So even though I have a lot of shit on screen here, you only have 8 active abilities. And 8 passive abilities. And now 7 augment things, because they basically modify your active abilities. Where am I? I did on load. The gear manager isn't that good. Sometimes you click it and it's just like, no. Alright, I got my Eidolon build down. And it's dancing time. Oh, wait, actually, let's see. I have my potion and my taco and my, oh, I actually used my experimental anima injector and we survived the fight. Usually whenever I use that, we wipe. And technically the mission to open up the Eidolon, this raid here, is kind of convoluted and weird. There was this whole big sort of almost ARG, alternate reality game involving it, because you had to do research about dumb shit that technically had nothing to do with the game. But it was stuff that they were trying to get you to figure out, because they were like, hey, there's this new raid, but you have to figure out where it is and how to open it. Here's a clue. Boom. And like a picture of something. So of course now we all know where to go, but the actual mission that you pick up to get the key that opens up, of course I don't know if it's changed either or not, because you used to have to go through and jump through a bunch of hoops and create a key, and then you had to go to the correct location and use the key, which would open the portal, which gets you inside here. I don't think you have to make that key anymore. Or the key, no, you used to make the key, and when you killed the boss, the key would turn into a loot bag, but if you didn't loot the good stuff, you could keep the key and do it again, but if you did loot the good stuff, then it would use up the key and you would have to create another one. And it involved all of the layers in the game, where you'd have to, like, you would have, the layers are group content, but they're in the shit, I'm not sprinting. They're group content, but you're in the outside world. So it's basically like an outside world dungeon sort of thing. What the? Alright, I don't know what killed me. Somehow his cleave hit me, and I swear I was standing behind him. Well, I was hoping this one to have a more interesting fight for video, where I didn't die from stupid, but somehow I died from stupid. Let's see. I mean, maybe I wasn't paying attention, and I mean, I was recording this, so I can go back and check it out, I suppose, after the fact. But I don't know. I swear I wasn't. I swear I wasn't in front of him, because the cleave is it's a front-facing attack that will hit anybody that within like a 45, 60 degree angle of the front of the boss. So I swear, like I was standing by other people, I thought. So I don't know how I got cleaved, unless I legit actually like pulled aggro for like long enough for him to turn around, smack, and turn back around again. I don't know. That's unlikely, but I guess it's possible. But I don't know. Yeah, because I think the last time it was during this phase, and I foolishly attacked the boss instead of one of the squid guys. I was running by him, and I was just tab targeting, and I hit the wrong guy, and he killed me. And then I watched the rest of the fight from the graveyard, kind of like I'm doing right now. When I first started doing this, I had a horrible problem with continuing to shoot when he did the green shield thingy. The green shield thingy will hurt you if you do damage to him. So pretty much every time we did this, that's the green shield thingy. Pretty much every time we did this, I would die right away, because we'd be like fight, fight, fight. He would do his green shield thingy, and I wouldn't stop attacking right quick enough, and I would die. So I would spend the entire fight just watching from the sidelines. I haven't done that in a really long time. And now, these last 2 weeks, I've done the dumb pretty much right away. I haven't died from the shield, I've died from other dumbness. Although, I may not be the only one in the Ring of Shame now. No, wait, never mind, I am. That was a wishful thought of me. Yeah, so this one, like, you fight the boss, and then he'll be like, oh, hell no, I'm changing to a different realm, or something. And then these guys pop out. And I think I mentioned this in the other video, but, like, the first time you face one, the second time you face two, the third time you face three. I think you see where I'm going with this. And then once you kill all of these guys off, then the main boss comes back into our phase, and is like, alright, fine, I'll fight you guys. And then you go back to fighting him until he's like, nope, done with this. And he'll do the thing again, and he'll phase out, and summon up more squid guys. Drogue Lords, however it's pronounced. Yeah, so overall, this is a pretty straightforward fight. Like, that was like a frontal attack that I think everybody avoids, because once he starts casting it, he doesn't move. He will do this at a certain point where you want to get close to whoever this is targeting, because the damage that it does is spread. And then when it comes to this phase, you want to get apart from everybody, because the damage is, like, each of these rings will do damage. So if everybody is clustered at that point, they will all take everybody's damage, and probably people will die. I'm not the only dead one. My noobness is sort of avenged. At some point he submerges, which is this, pops up in the middle and does this long, slow cast that makes water come out, and if you're caught in the tidal wave, it'll knock you back. I don't know if it does damage or not, but it basically just knocks you back. It's kind of pointless, I think. Maybe I don't know the specific mechanics of it, but it seems pointless to me. When it gets near the end... Oh, wait. Oh, I have the wrong thing targeted. Alright, when it gets near the end, he'll summon a few of these guys, and then the shades pop up. I don't actually know what the shades do, except if you move, that's bad, because they will come around you. Maybe if they're near you and you move again, then they will attack you. I don't actually know. All I know is once the shade comes out, you want to not move if at all possible. Great. And let me make sure I'm repaired. Alright, now I'm repaired. Yeah, so I don't actually know what the shades do, aside from the fact that you're not supposed to move when they come out. which, depending on positioning, could be a problem, might not be a problem. Alright, I should have done this before I turned on my missions. Alright, I actually bought 2 Aegis bags earlier before I started, so I spent like 1,800 billion. Let's see, I think it's 950 times 2, so that would be 1,900 billion. I think I spent 1,900 billion when I first logged in, and now I'm up to 2,070. Because I've made 1,800 today. Just doing these 3 fucking raids. Alright, and that's it. So this was probably only like an hour long, and we're done with the 3 raids. So at this point, I am actually going to not bore you all with prattling, and I'm going to teleport the fuck out of here. And we're going to call it a night, and I may... I'm only 1 beer in, which means I have more gaming ahead of me, but I may do a different game. I have started playing Skyrim again recently, the new special edition, whatever. I play Elite Dangerous, but honestly, that's not a good videoing game, because I don't really do PvP, or even, like, combat. I don't have a good ship for it. So it's just a lot of me flying around and hyperspacing between star systems, and that sounds like it would be kind of dull to watch. It's dull to play. I mean, I enjoy it, but it is definitely not super action-y. There's not a lot of excitement in there until some random NPC or player is like, hey, I want to kill you for no good reason. And then you just leave, basically. You can not teleport, like hyperspace, use your friendship drive and pop the fuck out of there pretty relatively easily. So it's actually hard to get killed if you're not fighting back. But it's not that exciting to watch. I wouldn't think. I play the game, and I think I would be bored watching other people play the game. It's like, if anything, it may be like, hey, I'm going to do PvP for the next 3.5 minutes. I'm going to record a clip. Ooh. So yeah, I might jump into that now, but I'm not going to record that because it would be dull. Skyrim, maybe. Although, Elite Dangerous is also a game that you really don't want to play when you're drinking. Literally one time, I was out drinking and came home. I wasn't driving, by the way. So I was drunk, and I was like, I want to play Elite Dangerous. So I logged into the game. I flew out of the station that I was docked in. I accidentally dropped all of my cargo that I was carrying, which was like 4 of the, I forget what they're called, meta alloys or something like that. They're actually kind of hard to come by, and they're worth a good amount. I had 4 of them in my inventory. I accidentally ejected them all into space. I got fined for littering, basically, because they were right in front of the station. I destroyed 2 of them trying to pick them back up again, and then I landed and paid off my fine and logged back off again. So in the course of like 10 minutes, I lost like, I don't know, like 20,000 credits. Just because I was fucking drunk. So that's not a good game to play drunk. Especially because my ship will cost, like if I die in it, that's like a 2-point-something million repair bill, insurance bill, and I don't have a lot of money in that game. Like, I have a lot of money, but compared to what my rebuy is, which is what you have to spend to get your ship back when it gets destroyed, I don't have a lot of money proportionally. I am intending at some point to buy a Dance, which is basically a fighter, and deck it out, and then maybe go do some shooty things with it. So maybe when I get to that point, I'll go drinking and shoot things, because those are good combinations. So that might happen in the future. Who knows? I was thinking of playing Doom, because I think Doom would be a good drinking, shooting game. But I also haven't played that in probably 3 months now. I'm not even sure how to play anymore. I don't really remember. I mean, it's, yeah, like left click, shoot, right click, I think move, shoot forward. I don't actually know anymore. Like, yeah, I don't even remember how to play. So that could be interesting, just being like, I am failing repeatedly because I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, I am not going to bore you anymore with my prattling, so I need to change out of this outfit. This is fucking ugly. I want all the outfits, but goddamn, this is ugly. Especially the half and half. Because like the white one, which is basically the top half here, that only drops off of Flappy. The yellow one was available during basically the Agartha event that I had mentioned before, where you were running instances inside of Agartha and killing Flappies and things like that. You would get a unique currency drop reward, and you use that to buy these pieces of gear, which was the Capulet Carapace of the Immaculate Machine. So yeah, even the yellow one, it's kind of dumb looking. The white one is marginally less dumb looking, I think, but being a mixture half and half, it doesn't look good at all. The Carapace of Gaia I actually do kind of enjoy, because this is like the horns are technically not part of it. I added that, but it's just like an armored suit of stuff. Kind of look like I don't know, like a Power Ranger or something. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So I'm done. Bye. As soon as I figure out how to end this. How the fuck do I end this? God damn it. I don't know how to end this. Where's the... There we go. And we're done. We're done.